guys, it's West here, back with another Summoner's War video. As there are many content creators making updates on games and making videos about the new releases and what's included in them very frequently, I figured I would have to make something that is unique and different in order to stand out in a crowd. And my attempt at doing so involves ASMR. If you're not sure about what ASMR is, and this experience is very strange and awkward, I have a link down below in the description with the full explanation of what ASMR is and how it is a non-sexual way to experience pleasure, for the lack of a better word. Nevertheless, if you enjoy these type of videos, or you got some sort of entertainment or tingles from this video, be sure to like this video and subscribe, as it really helps me out and it lets me know you guys enjoy this content. So without further ado, let's go over the 4.0.0 update details. This is the first time that I am reading this specific update, so please pardon me if I slip up at all, or if there's anything that I don't fully understand in this video. For the most part, I do understand that this update has a lot to do with the new player versus enemy guild content. This content involves going through what the game is called a labyrinth, taking down various different enemies in order to receive rewards. Previously, guild-based content was primarily focused around player versus player, and as such, there was some left to be desired for Summoners War players who weren't as inclined to PvP, or who were maybe not as far in the game, so their rune quality was not strong enough to take on some of these stronger players in the game. So, in this update, it states your guild has 2 weeks to find and defeat the guardians of Labyrinth and the ruler of Labyrinth. It seems like there's a little bit lost in translation in terms of any sort of proper grammar or sentence structure here. However, I can look past that, given that the update is so large and there's so much content coming out. As we've seen previously, the Labyrinth location will be located next to the Guild Island on the map. So the Isle of Conquest, where the Guild Island is, it will be down and to the right. I'll have an image up on the screen now. The exploration schedule. You can explore a labyrinth for 2 weeks once the labyrinth is opened. So that's pretty cool. So you have 2 weeks to basically go through a labyrinth once it's opened, in order to try to find and defeat the boss. So it seems like it's fairly long in terms of duration, especially when compared to something like Guild Siege, which we thought would be long before, but Guild Siege only really lasts a day or two with an armistice period in between. Battle rules. You can battle 3 times a day. The battle count won't be deducted if you lose in battle, and the battle count will be deducted only when you win a battle. Okay, so if you're having trouble with a stage, you won't be penalized, basically. I do enjoy that the game isn't going to penalize players for their inability to complete stages, and basically promotes retrying the stages until you can defeat them. I think this is really nice for lower level players who may have a tougher time with this dungeon, and even higher level players who would like to experiment with different compositions. Battle rewards. You can acquire a battle reward, a random reward among rune, grindstone, enchant gem boxes, whenever you win a battle in each stage. I think this is really, really exciting, because some of the new grindstones and enchants can be enchanted on any rune, regardless of the rune set, meaning if you get a speed gem of this new type. You can put it on any rune if it's fatal, if it's blight, if it's energy, and you won't need separate enchants or gems for those runes, or enchants or grinds for those runes, because they will be universally usable. I didn't understand this when I first read it, but after reading deeper into it, I learned quite a bit about these new rewards. Next is the Labyrinth Clear reward. When your guild defeats Tartarus, the ruler of Labyrinth, you can acquire Labyrinth Exploration reward boxes. You can get a Memorial Grindstone, a Memorial Gem, and many other rewards from the box. The Immemorial Grindstones and Gems are the grindstones and gems that I was referring to when it comes to being able to enchant or grind any rune, regardless of the rune set. Next, we have the different bosses. These, I believe, are the mid-bosses, I guess you could consider them. These are the bosses you have to defeat along the way. The first boss is Kotos. It appears he is a fire boss, as they have put his name in a red box, and his first ability's name is Magical Flame Sword. We can see that there have been some changes among their abilities, and I believe the only change on this ability is that this attack won't land as glancing hits, essentially the same buff that Rocky, the Fire Hell Lady, received for her third skill, essentially meaning if you try to beat this dungeon sheerly based on attribute advantage, you may be mistaken. Although you won't be hit by critical hits as often, the boss will not land glancing hits on you with this attack. This attack attacks all enemies 2 times to inflict continuous damage for 2 turns, with a 50% chance. Inflicts additional damage that is 5% of the enemy's max HP per continuous damage effect granted on the enemy, and this attack won't land as glancing hits. So basically, the boss dots you up and then increases its own damage on you, dealing an additional, HP-based damage dependent on the number of continuous damage effects. I have a feeling that unless there is a set accuracy resistance check here, and I don't believe there is based on the information they've given, resistance will be fairly useful, and resistance leadership skills can potentially save your team from lots of damage. His second ability is a Memorial Magic Power Revenge. So before, it counterattacked whenever an enemy attacks it, and now it counterattacks with the first skill, with a 35% chance whenever attacked by an enemy. I figure that the developers thought it was too overpowered, or that the ability did far too much damage to teams when it activated with a 100% chance. The next boss to cover is Leos, the water mid-boss. So before, it attacked all enemies and froze them for 2 turns with a 35% chance, and now they have increased that to a 50% chance. In addition, this attack won't land as glancing hits. It seems like they really are trying to discourage using or lower the benefit of bringing an element advantageous team, or a team with elements that are advantageous against the attribute of that boss. I think this is interesting, and I think this makes the dungeon a lot more fun, as being able to cheese the boss just sheerly based on attribute advantage takes away some of the difficulty and some of the fun. Next we have Giles, This is the Wind Mid-Boss. Magical Vampire Blunt Weapon is his only attack. Before, he attacked all enemies and recovers HP as much as the inflicted damage. That's fairly scary. Now, he does the same, but in addition, this attack won't land as glancing hits, meaning, like the other mid-bosses, no matter what element you bring, without a glancing debuff, I would assume, he will not land glancing hits with his ability. I imagine that even with a glancing debuff, it won't land as a glancing hit, as it probably mimics the ability that Leica has on his passive. So the mid-bosses as well as Tartarus share this passive. Immemorial Time. Before, they gained attack bar whenever an enemy's turn ends, and gains more attack bar when there are fewer enemies. This does not get affected by attack bar change skill effects, so I would assume that it isn't affected by the slow debuff. After, gains attack bar whenever an enemy's turn ends, and gains more attack bar when there are fewer enemies. Does not get affected by attack bar change skill effects, and multiple allies cannot attack together at the same time during the immemorial time. That's interesting that they do that, not allowing you to multi-hit or hit with multiple allies, so team-up abilities get weaker, I would assume. I feel like it is not explained extremely well. Next, we have some guild level features that have been added. You can increase your guild level by completing guild achievements. As your guild's level goes up, your guild will receive more guild benefits. The maximum guild level is 30. You can achieve common goals with guild members to increase the guild level and earn a variety of individual rewards and guild achievement points. 7 guild skills have been added. Guild skills are special effects that will be applied to all guild members. The higher your guild level is, the more variety of guild skill effects you can be granted with. I found these to be very interesting in the brief moments that I looked over this patch before creating this video. This is essentially like a guild tower, to the best of my understanding, and it is going to benefit you in places outside of Guild Wars, which is very exciting. Crest of Punishment increases the stat of ally monsters in the Kairos dungeon. Aura of Purification increase the stat of ally monsters in Raid Beast battles. Pavement of Ancient increases the stat of ally monsters in labyrinths. Pledge of Faith increase the stat of ally monsters in Rift Raid battles. Trade Association Alliance unlocks an additional slot in the Guild Magic Shop. Mana Purifier increases the amount of mana stones you acquire in all battles. EXP Amplifier increases the amount of XP that all monsters acquire in battles. I think these are wonderful, and as an addition to the game, it allows players who are later in the game to get more out of their time in the game. Players who grind these out will get bonuses that are fairly large, a few extra mana crystals, even if it's only 10% at max level, can really add up over time. Because if you think about it, an extra 1,000 crystals per run over the course of 100 runs can become the cost it takes to bring a rune to +9 from +8. And the EXP amplifier will help when leveling monsters I'm not sure what these values are as they haven't released these quite yet. However, the patch will come within 2 to 3 hours of my current time. Below we have the guild check-in feature. You can earn a check-in reward once a day, and the check-in reward will be decided based on the number of guild members checked in on the previous day. If there are fewer than 5, the rewards you will get are energy times 5. 5 or more, you will get energy times 5 and guild points times 5. 10 or more, you will get energy times 5 and guild points times 10. 15 or more, you will get energy times 10 and guild points times 10. Energy 20 or more, you will get energy times 15 and guild points times 15. 25 or more, you will receive energy times 20 and guild points times 20. You can receive energy times 5 reward on the day of the 4.0.0 update. It seems interesting to add this feature. It really promotes guild activity or being an active guild member, as I feel in some situations there is not enough incentive besides the guild points for a guild member to really be involved in the guild. This small addition can change whether or not a member is active, because even if they are unable to go very far in the guild wars, they can still contribute and receive guild points by being an active member that checks in. The guild magic shop has been added. It's a guild exclusive shop which guild members of the same guild share. The items at the shop will be refreshed automatically once every 8 hours. You can purchase and install the shop by going to Community Guild Shop. When you leave a guild, the guild magic shop building will remain, but you can't purchase items at the shop. Guild content update. Special package item has been added. It's a limited item that will be available for you to purchase after the 4.0.0 until August 9th. Purchase limited on once per account. So you can only buy one of these special packages. We'll see the value of them tomorrow, I suppose. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Guild content update. Special gifts. Immemorial Grindstone and Immemorial Gem will be given as guild content update special gifts. Make sure to tap the event icon on the right side of the village. Go to Guild Content Update notice banner and tap the collect button in the notice page to claim your gifts. I highly recommend you claim these gifts before they disappear, as I would imagine they are fairly decent. As of late, Come2Us has been compensating for their distance from the game for the past year or so, maybe few years, in the eyes of some players who are veterans of the game. Come2Us has, to put it nicely, not given us a lot of changes that we have greatly desired, but in the last few months they have really been picking up the slack. So I would imagine that these immemorial stones and grinds are going to be at least usable. I can't wait to see what kind of stuff we get. Rune inventory improvement. You can now check the number of grindstones and enchant gems you currently possess by each rune set. The maximum slots have been expanded. Previously, runes 600 slots, and now runes get 600 slots, and enchant gems and grindstones get 400 slots. This helps a lot of players who are in mid and late game, who have quite a few runes and possibly quite a few grindstones that they hold on to when they're looking for runes, and being forced to sell a rune that could potentially be good for the sake of being able to farm more is always very sad. And it's nice to have extra space to store these runes, since we have more spaces to store monsters than we do for runes, even though monsters have 6 rune slots. New immemorial icon has been added in the enchanted gem grindstone slot. To make this section as brief or as summarized as I possibly can, these grindstones and enchant gems, the immemorial ones, will be able to be grinded or enchanted respectively onto any rune set regardless of the star rating, regardless of the rune set. Like I said earlier, this means that if you get a speed, enchant, or grind, you can put it on a blade, or a fatal, or an energy, or a violent, or a rage, or any set you can imagine in the game. And it's all with the same enchanter gem, meaning that working on grinding these gives you progress that raid might not be giving you. Who's to tell what the rates on these immemorial gems and grinds are going to be, and whether or not it is going to be another pay-to-win feature that Com2uS uses as a cash grab. I promise you the point of this video is not to bag on Com2uS. This is just me speaking from events that I have seen in the past as an unbiased as I can be player. The free rune removal event will take place on Saturday, the 21st, July 21st, depending on what your time zone is, or if you're on the global server, we will have a free rune removal event, which is really nice, because it gives you one quick chance to rune up some monsters for this new guild content and play around with them before you hop into there with your dungeon teams and teams that might not be on the best possible rune set for this content. There is a small UI improvement where if a monster does not have a leadership skill, the notice text will be displayed as shaded to improve clarity in the battle preparation screen. Some resources of the additional downloads will be downloaded as you continue your gameplay. So from what I understand, this is a very large update in terms of size and a very large update as in terms of content. Now I know that this is not my standard content, and for many people, if not all, an ASMR video on my channel does not make a lot of sense. This was more than a joke, more of a joke than anything when I first came up with it conceptually. However, I have very much enjoyed this video. It has been soothing for myself, and I hope it has been very soothing for you as well. In the future, if I make any update notice videos, it will be in this format, as I feel this is the best way to separate myself from other Summoners War content creators. Although I believe this method will generate some criticism, I also believe that some people may either enjoy the ASMR of this video or find it entertaining. And either way, if you enjoyed, then my job is done. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe for more. Even if you're only here for the ASMR content, or you only watch this video for entertainment, you subscribing to my channel greatly helps me out and lets me know that you enjoy it. If you have any suggestions, comments, any sounds you would like to hear, or any content you would like to see on my channel, of course, feel free to write it in the comment section below. And if you don't like this video and feel that it shouldn't appear on a channel such as mine, then be more than welcome to hit that dislike button, because any form of feedback that you give me on these kinds of videos helps me to create better content for my viewers. And all my content is created with my viewers in mind to some extent. This video may have been a little selfish and fun for me, but I hope some of you enjoy it. That is all for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see